Good morning. My name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Valte's Light Healing. You are either watching me on my Facebook group or on my YouTube channel, so thank you. Appreciate a like or a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe and get notifications for my next videos as well, so that would be appreciated. Before we get started here, sorry, too many distractions this morning. We're going to talk today. I had a topic picked out. I was going to talk a little bit about going into the shadow season, but I figured, well, we still got a little bit of time left in August, and so I had a conversation with somebody last week that somebody had advised her to meditate, and she wasn't really sure. Well, she knew how to meditate, but she's like, I'm not very good at it. And I was like, well, I'm not very good at it either, but I can certainly pass along some of the tips and things that people have suggested for me. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about meditation, quest, and journey. But before we get started, we are going to just go ahead and do a little smudge. Actually, I forgot to invite people, so let me go ahead and do that. This is the boring part, I know, but it really is hopefully helping people get the notifications. So does anybody have any good plans for this weekend? It's Labor Day, so I have an extra day off. I have Monday off from work. Don't really know what we're going to do. My stepdaughter's birthday is in there, so we might go for breakfast Sunday morning. I don't know, talked about maybe taking the kids up to Maine to York Zoo, and then maybe if it's nice, we'll try to get a bike ride in. So, and between all of that, I have a class that I missed last night that I'm hoping to catch, and maybe a little bit of housework. So, not a very exciting weekend here for us, but actually just kind of hoping to not do too much. Have a little bit more of a relaxing weekend. We still have stuff to do, but we have 3 days instead of 2 days. So hoping that one of those days we can actually just kind of chillax a little bit. So almost done here. We went from, it was very cold and kind of cloudy and chilly here, and you could kind of feel, the other day I went outside and it's like, yeah, it feels like autumn out here. And so started putting up some of my fall decorations and stuff, and then all of a sudden summer's back. It's supposed to be really warm and really humid today here, so which, you know, no surprise if you're from New England. Pretty much know not to get too settled on any one type of the weather, because it'll change on you at any time. So, phew, our group is getting bigger, so it's taking me, I'm trying to go pretty fast and not push the buttons too hard, because I sat and watched one of the videos one day and realized that every time I was hitting that button, you guys were just hearing like tap, 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 tap. I'm like, well, that's kind of annoying. So try not to push the buttons too hard, but I try to go quick. So, anyhow, just the way life is, I guess. So, I'm going to do a little bit of smudging. If I have anybody new that's watching, because we've had quite a few new people in the last few weeks. If I got anybody new that's watching, any kind of feedback would be awesome. Or anybody that's been watching, feedback from you guys is awesome too. And just a little smudge. I always recommend smudging at least your hands if you can't smudge. And if you can't smudge your whole house, or if you can't smudge all of you, to at least smudge your hands. We touch a lot of things, and we touch people, and we touch things that people have touched, so we pick up a lot through our hands. So always recommend at least doing your hands. And that's real quick, we're just gonna do Paleo Santos. I did my first like vendor fair kind of thing this last weekend, and I was really surprised at like how many people had never heard about Paleo Santos. And then I was surprised at how many people, once they smelled it, they're like, we're buying that. And not necessarily just for spiritual reasons, just because it smells amazing. So we'll let that go here. One lady came up and said, oh, I can't buy anything here. She said, my husband really doesn't like smells. She's like, he doesn't like anything that smells. And, you know, sensitivity to strong smells. And then she picked up the Paleo Santos, and she was like, well, what is this? And I thought that was weird, because she was familiar with white sage and the cedar bundles and stuff, but she wasn't familiar with the Paleo Santos. And so I told her what it was, and, you know, had her smell it. And she said, oh, I really like that. And so her husband was with her, and he said, well, let me smell it. And he smelled it, and he said, yeah, I like that smell. He said, and it's not real strong. And I said, no, and it doesn't continue to burn. It's not like an incense stick that burns forever, or a candle that, you know, can be very strong or empowering, or over-empowering. It just burns for a short time, so you can just light it and let it go out. So I had to put my phone over here, and it's blinging and it's distracting me. So before we do get started, we're gonna go ahead and pull a new chakra card for today. I did get my space organized a little bit the other night. I still have some stuff to do. The truth of the matter is I just have more stuff than I had planned for in this space, and I have to kind of figure out what doesn't really need to be in this space, what could go somewhere else. But I like to keep things very handy, so sometimes I don't even know what may come up in one of these. I mean, I have a topic and stuff, but other things, sometimes when I'm talking through things come up that I want to share with you. And just real quick, this was last week's. So we're going to go ahead and put that back. And not pulling for anybody particular at the moment, just pulling a card just to help us kind of learn the chakras. We're gonna, starting in January, this year we went through the zodiac sign. We're going through the zodiac signs. So next year we're going to focus each month a little bit more on the chakras, so that we have a little bit more a little bit better understanding of our chakras. And, you know, I'm gonna kind of go into like maybe essential oils that would be great, or crystals that would be great to work on a chakra, things of that sort. I don't have like the whole thing planned out or anything like that, but I do know, like, I'm gonna just pick a chakra and work on it each month. Now, there aren't 12 chakras, so towards the end of the year we won't have the chakras to talk about, so I'll have to do something else in there. But I want to try to maybe get some crafting in, but then I thought, well, maybe I'll try to make the crafting linked to each chakra, so that with each, like in January, we're really focusing on one chakra. You know, we've this year we've talked about like a lot of the lunar stuff, astrology, the movements of the planets and things of that sort. And, you know, we'll touch base on that. I'll remind you, like, when we're going into Mercury retrograde and things of that sort, when the full moons are coming. But we don't need to go over all that stuff again next year. The videos are going to be saved on there. And so if you have a question, you can go back and watch one of those videos. I don't want to just redo the same videos. So this one is Empowered Oneness, which is kind of cool because Tuesday we talked about self-empowerment. Let's see, I could take my glasses off so I can read. I got a little water today, trying to stay hydrated. I'm not very good at it. I don't like the taste of water, and I don't like to drink water, which is weird, but it's true. But I'm really trying to drink more water. Anyhow, Empowered Oneness. Allow yourself to see the light in others, and you will illuminate your own being. From when, that's weird, it's a dash, not a period. Allow yourself to see the light in others, and you will illuminate your own being. For when you hold others with deep respect, you shine that same light upon yourself. Let this light radiate from deep within you, bringing energies of power, prosperity, and courage to all who cross your path. This process becomes easy and automatic once you remember that we are all one. You are being called upon to embody unity consciousness as a source of power in the world. It goes to your solar plexus, golden calcite, and is the crystal, and the herb is turmeric on this card to work with. So how, like, that's just a really quick touch on a chakra. Like, it tells you a crystal and an herb to work with. And you can obviously see that it's yellow. But when we get into talking about the solar plexus, we'll talk a lot more in depth about things to do if you're working on your solar plexus. So just kind of an upcoming of what's going to be coming for next year. I will put that right there and get a picture of it and get it up on the group page. So a lot of times I take my information from like a blog or an article, and today's is I took a little bit of information from there, but mostly it's just my experience and things that people have shared with me. So I had a conversation with somebody on Friday. It was a very in-depth conversation. I'm not going to go into all of that. But she said, well, someone told me I should meditate. Well, on that note, I think we should all meditate every day if you can. If you can't, then, you know, pick out a couple of days a week. But meditating doesn't need to be, like, you don't need to do it for 20, 30 minutes. You can, like, do 5 minutes, you know, just take 5 minutes and meditate. But I did want to go over real quick a little bit of the difference between meditate or what somebody might call journey or quest. So meditate is when you are trying to quiet your mind. So you're just trying to, like, not really think about anything, which is really, really hard for me, like almost impossible for me. I don't want to say it is impossible because nothing's impossible, but it's really, really hard for me to quiet my mind. My mind goes like 100 miles an hour all day long, every day. But so meditating is when you're trying to just calm your mind, to quiet your mind, to be in a peaceful state. Where quest or journey is usually, not always, but usually guided of some sort. Like I have a couple of different recordings on my phone that are guided. You know, she's walking you through, like, I don't want to get in depth on all of it, but like it starts out, she's like getting you relaxed. You know, you relax your hands, relax your arms. She goes through your whole body and everything. And then she says, well, now you're in a field. You know, she talks about the grass, very calming, very relaxing. Talks about the grass, talks about a rainbow. And then like she's, oh, you see a big tree, you walk over to the tree, go to the tree and stuff. And that's more of a journey. Journey and quest a lot of times are seeking some sort of information, an answer for something, a message from someone. Some sort of information is what you're looking for, whether it be from spirit, from your higher self, from different gods or goddesses. People do all kinds of different kinds of journeys and quests. That's one of those things, as well as pretty much all of anything that's magic or metaphysical. There's really no right or wrong way. You really can't mess it up. There are obviously ways to do it better. There are ways that will work for one person that won't work for another person. I know people who can just sit down in the middle. They could sit down in the middle of a busy mall and meditate, and it would work for them. And I can't meditate for 2 seconds in my own living room when nobody's home, just because my mind is just, I haven't got to a place where I can just quiet my mind and shut it all off. But yeah, the difference with meditate is you're trying to quiet your mind. You're trying to really not think about anything, just be in a place of peace and quiet. And journey or quest is where you're going to be going somewhere and seeking some sort of information. In the classes that I take, the Soul Shift class, or you can get the journey part if you just take sabbatical, which is a smaller version of the Soul Shift class. Soul Shift class is the one that I'm in, and we get 4 classes, but we get bonus classes, we get bonus videos, we get weekly readings. There's like a bunch more stuff besides just the 4 classes, where sabbatical gets, I think, 2 classes. I can't remember. It's a little smaller and obviously a little less money to do the sabbatical. But I pretty much think anybody that joins sabbatical, if they can afford it, is going to turn around and join Soul Shift. But anyway, sabbatical and Soul Shift. Sabbatical is the class they get the journey in. And so if that's something you're interested in, you could just sign up for sabbatical, which I think is like $30 a month. And like I said, you do get other stuff besides just the journey class. There are a couple other things in there that you get, and you get access to. There are 2 Facebook groups that are just for class members. Sage Goddess has a couple other ones that are public ones. Anybody can join. I can put the links in the group today if anybody's interested in those, because there is a lot of great information in there, but you do have to remember that it's for anybody, and sometimes it gets a little opinionated, and sometimes there's some drama in there, even though SG tries really hard to keep it out of there, but sometimes it is. In the class groups, I have never seen drama. I have never seen, arguing or anything like that. And I admit I'm in there quite a bit. Soul Shift and sabbatical group are pretty much, if I'm hopping on Facebook, I go check those 2 things first. I love to see what's going on in there and learn stuff. But anyway, getting off topic. Journey is in the sabbatical and Soul Shift, if that's something you're interested in taking. You could even sign up for 1 month to see what it's like and quit. You don't have to like stay in there forever. But where I was going with all that before I went off on my little sales pitch there was in our group, in my Soul Shift group, the journeys we do are guided by Athena, and we go to all different places. Sometimes we go to Greece, sometimes we go to a forest, a lake, and she, talks you through where we're going and what we're doing. And my messages that come through to me are very cryptic, which I have learned from a lot of the other people in the group, that it's the same way for them as well. I usually get glimpses, like a snap quick of an image, and then it's gone. And then right after Journey, what I do is, and we'll talk about this, is I like to do the research into that, but I'm kind of jumping ahead there. So Journey is got some sort of message that you're looking for, or an answer for something, message from spirit guide, message from your higher self, messages from gods or goddesses, where meditation is you're just trying to quiet your mind. So meditation, a couple of things that have worked for me, and a couple of things that have not worked for me that work for other people. So you can certainly try them, and if they don't work, just move on and try something else. If you're like me and you've tried pretty much everything and nothing's working, you can always reach out to me. I can try to reach out to some other folks and see if there's any more pointers or ideas out there. But for somebody who's first starting to meditate, the best thing to do is light a candle. I have these little ones here that I love because in a lot of different rituals, I burn different colored candles, and instead of spending like $1 bazillion on candles, you get these little candles. I got a package of like 20 candles for like $10 at Amazon, and they're all different colors. And then I got this little teeny awesome candle holder, and that came from Deep Earth Arts in Littleton, and it just goes right in there. But you could light a candle and just watch the flame. You know, fire is very draws you in and kind of helps relax you. That's why a lot of us love to just sit and stare at a bonfire. I love to have my fireplace. It's fake, but the flames still flicker over there, and I love to watch that as well. So even a fake fire is perfectly good. But for meditating or journey, I really recommend getting a quiet space somewhere, whether it can be a room in your house, which I don't really have like a room that I can go in and close the door and it's just my room. Or so you could pick a time of day that you're alone. So that's why, same reason why I do these videos is my husband goes to work very early, and it's about one of the only times that I have the house to myself is from when he goes to work then to when I go to work. So it's very quiet in here, and I do get very distracted, which is why I have such a hard time meditating. And if he was here home, it would be very distracting for me. Not that he would be doing anything to be distracting to me or interrupting me or anything like that, but I just get distracted very, very easily. That's why I have to put my phone over there where I can't see it. So if you're going to meditate and you are like me and you're very easily distracted, pick a room you can go to where you can shut the door, pick a time when nobody else is around. If you can't do that, you can go sit in your car. Go drive out somewhere and sit in your car. You can meditate in your car. So those are all kind of options for you. I will tell you, my meditating is done at night, and I do in bed. And my husband is there, my dog is there. But what I do is I put in my earbuds, and I put in very relaxing, calming music. I have a whole playlist on there that is either like sound therapy, so like the Solfeggios, singing bowls, wind they're both snoring. Yeah, so earbuds are a really good option if you don't have a way to just kind of block out everything else, which I'm really bad at. Like I said, there are people out there who could sit down in the middle of a busy mall and meditate, and they are perfectly fine with that. And I literally can't have a single sound. I can't see anything. My phone, I'm just distracted. Every little teeny tiny thing is distracting for me. I am so much the dog from Up who sees the squirrel and like just is off on something else. Watching fire is another good way. So like I said, you could just light a candle and sit and watch that. And again, maybe do the candle with the earbuds. Whatever works for you, whatever helps you get to that place of, not really thinking of anything and being peaceful and calm. If there are interruptions, it's okay. It's not like your meditation is gone. It's not like you have to start over. It's not like, oh, you ruined it kind of thing. Just acknowledge whatever it is and go back. There's nothing really else you can do. If one of the kids if you got a little room that you're meditating on and one of the kids knocks on the door and needs something, you can acknowledge them, however, tell them to go away, go see dad, tell them give you 20 minutes and you'll be right there. Whatever the acknowledgement is, acknowledge them and then go right back into your meditation. If they're bleeding or there are broken bones, then yeah, you need to stop meditating and get up and tend to whatever needs to be tended to. But for most of us, the interruptions that we get are very small and minimal. And we can, just be like, that will be there in 5 minutes or 10 minutes when I'm done. I'm going to finish doing what I'm going to doing here. And then I can help you or get that or do that or whatever it is. The phone rings. You can call that person back in 10 minutes. They can wait. Things like that. So, like I said, meditate is quiet your mind. Music, earbuds, candles, watch the flames, fireplaces, anything like that are really good, helpful things. Quiet space, a comfortable space, anything that's just kind of makes you happy. So I have a little list because, again, I love my lists, but I wrote a little list of things that you might want to have with you when you are either meditating or journey or quest. And quest and journey are really the same thing. You just might hear them referred to as either way. Most people say journey, but I wanted to put the quest in there because if you heard that, I wanted you guys to have an understanding of what that is. So some of the things that you may want when you are going to meditate or do journey or quest. The number one thing is something to record with after. Now, I wrote a journal and a pen or pencil, marker, crayon, Sharpie, whatever it is you want. A scrap piece of paper is fine. Just something that when you come out of journey, you can record it. Because a lot of times I'll record things right after I come out of journey. And a couple of days later, I'm like, I have to go back and refer to that. Because it's like, oh, I got something like that, but I don't necessarily remember what it was. But a lot of times the message that we get in journey or quest won't necessarily make sense at that moment. Sometimes it's days, weeks, or months later when something will click and you're like, oh, that's what that was. And so I like to keep a little journal. My journal is actually on my phone. When I get visuals, because that's how they come to me. I like to go in and right after journey, like the minute I'm done, I get my phone and I go in and I start Googling images of what it was I saw until I can find an image that is as close as I can get to what I saw. And I save them on my phone. And then from there, I will do my research on what it was. Like my last journey, I got a picture of like a really old leather like messenger bag. You know, the one that has the little flap on it. So I'm really still not quite sure what that was about, but I got a vision of that, a snapshot of that. And then I got a snapshot of giant white wings and a snapshot of talons digging into the dirt. So I don't know if I pull it up here real quick, and you guys are not going to be able to see it real great, but that's what I do when I have a journey. I go in and right after I'm done, oh, maybe I didn't see it. I know I saved it. Right here. So you guys aren't going to see it real well, but see there's the picture of the messenger bag, and then you guys can't see that, what crap, the white wings, and then the talons. And I couldn't find talons digging into dirt, but I just found a picture of some talons. So, and then I research from there. So something to record your journey, whatever it may be. Like I said, if you want to draw, I tried that in the very beginning. I had a journal and I'm like, I'm going to draw. Well, my drawings just were atrocious. And yeah, they were really, really bad. So I'm like, yeah, this is not working for me. I need to find another method to do this. And then I'm like, well, just Google it on my phone and find the pictures. But sometimes it's very hard to find a picture that matches. So I have to just kind of find a picture that is really as close as possible. So a journal or a pen, something to record it with. A candle is always good to have. You know, and like I said, if you're going to go in your car or you're going to go outside, again, these little candles are really great. Or you can just buy like one of those little like votive size, like at the dollar store or something like that. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or special. Just a candle that you could easily like put in a bag and take in your car and carry out in the woods or whatever that you want to do. So a candle, music, again, you know, like the typical spa music kind of stuff, nature sounds. If you're out in nature, then you've got your nature sounds, but you might want some sort of music, singing bowl sounds, drumming is another. You could put some drumming. I have a recording of shamanic drumming on my phone that you could use that way. So really, you know, play around and find what it is that is kind of like best works for you. I really love when I go to bed at night, I kind of usually forward through the music and get to the thunderstorm, which is, you know, kind of probably weird, but it is, the sound of the thunderstorm is really relaxing for me. The sound has wind and rain and the thunder, and there's like a few, I think, bird sounds in there and things or whatnot, but I really enjoy the sound of that. So that's what helps me quiet my mind. But whatever works for you, because like I said, there's really no right or wrong way. And what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So journal, pen, some sort of recording, candle, music, earbuds you might want to take with you depending on, you know, where you're going to be. I like the earbuds just because I meditate at night and it helps block out the sounds of my husband snoring at the same time. So it's kind of like a a bonus for me to listen to my music and block out the snoring. A comfy blanket, or just something comfortable, whether it's a cushion, a blanket, a pillow, whatever it is, for you to either sit on or lie on. One of the things is you do not have to sit like Indian style on your floor to meditate or journey. You can sit in your recliner, you can lay on your bed, you can lay on the floor, you can sit in the car. You do not have to sit Indian style in the I think they call it the lotus position. You do not have to do that to meditate. You can be standing. I wouldn't recommend that because I don't think it'd be as relaxing, but you could do it if if it works for you, you could do it that way. But there's no right or wrong way. You do not have to be, sitting Indian style with your back straight and all that. A lot of times, even if I am sitting when I'm meditating or journeying, I like to just put my head forward, close my eyes and let's just kind of let my head go forward. Just saw all my roots there. But whatever is just comfortable for you. So the other thing I suggest is maybe a cup of tea to help with that relaxing. So some chamomile or something like that, that's going to be calming for you. But I do suggest something for after meditation. So like the tea is kind of like before you meditate, to have the tea, as you're getting your blanket ready, as you're getting your music ready, all that stuff. You could be drinking your tea and getting yourself in a calm way, calm, quiet way. But I do suggest for after the meditation, that's where your journal or recording, something to record is going to come in handy. There's the dog over there. And I do recommend something to drink after, water or something after, because usually when I'm done meditating, if not when I'm meditating in bed, because then I usually just fall asleep. But if I'm doing some sort of actual meditation during the day or journey work or quest work, I usually want something to drink right after. 99% of the time, I want something to eat after. So that's not uncommon to want something to eat and drink after. And usually I want something pretty solid, pretty heavy. Because to me, when you are journeying or meditating, you've kind of gone into I think like a floating kind of feeling, like you're very up there. And then when I'm done, I like to have something to eat and drink that's going to kind of help ground me back down. So if you're at home and you're meditating, that's fine. You don't really need to worry about that, because after you're done, you can just go get a drink or get something to eat. But if you're going to meditate somewhere else, in your car, outside, something like that, I do recommend to take for after something to drink and some sort of snack with you, granola bar or whatever works for you. So that's pretty much my tips on meditating. For journey, like I said, usually it's for some sort of purpose, for some sort of message or guidance or an answer to a question. Now, sometimes for those, again, you can go in either way. You can go in just very open, and that's my alarm saying it's time to finish up. You can go in very open, especially if you're going to work with some sort of god or goddess or anything like that. You can go in very open and just be like, whatever the message is that I'm to receive, I'm open to receive it. That's a lot of the times the way I go into a journey. I don't go in with a specific question, just because sometimes I feel like if I go in with a question, I might be missing something that might be more important, or that I might need more than the answer to whatever it is I think I need the answer to. So I like to go in just very open. Whatever it is that spirit or guide or God or goddess is there to send me, I go in with I'm open to receive whatever that is. But some people do like to have a question answered. Am I on the right path? Should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I quit my job? Should I start a new career? Should I open my own business? It's usually business or relationship or family of some sort, questions and things like that. But you can go in with a question and see about getting an answer that way. And again, I don't find that most times my messaging, and it can be different for everybody, is going to just be like, this is your answer and on your way. It's usually a little more cryptic than that. You usually get bits and pieces, and you kind of have to do the work after to solve the mystery of the puzzle, so to speak. So if you're getting just little bits and pieces, don't be discouraged, because that is really how a lot of us get our messages. My tummy is so growling, and I apologize. That's how most of us get our messages, is in bits and pieces, and then we kind of have to do the work ourselves. Like they just give us like the breadcrumbs, and we have to kind of put them all back together to get an answer. So don't get discouraged with that. If you're trying to meditate and just quiet your mind, again, and you are like, something over here has got your attention, and something over there has got your attention, and you're all over the place. Again, don't get discouraged. I know that's really hard, because even for me, it's hard. I do get discouraged. I get very upset with myself that I let my mind go in so many places and that I can't quiet it. But it's just something that is going to take practice. And like I said, one of the ways that I've learned is to just I can't pick up my candle now because it's too hot. But is just to pick up to put a candle right in front of you. Like if I was sitting here, I would have the candle, like right here in front of me, and get my surroundings quiet. Maybe burn some incense, smudge. I would have the lights probably off, and then the candle, and just focus on the flame to try to get everything else out of your mind. And music is really good as well to help with that. If you are having a hard time being distracted by a lot of different sounds and things that are going on around you, the earbuds, so the music is there to help relax and calm you and help get in that state, but the earbuds is going to help keep out the other distractions around you. So that was pretty much it for today. If anybody's got any questions, any comments, wants more information on anything, just, put them in the comments below. Send me a private message. Whatever works for you is fine with me. I'd like to see more comments down below, just to see the videos a little more interactive. I know that is a big part that is on me, is because I do these videos so early, and that most people just can't pop on live with me at 7:30 in the morning, that they're either getting ready for work or they're getting kids ready for school or whatever that is. But yeah, if you guys are watching, a thumbs up is great. Just a comment saying watched, replay, whatever, is great. Any kind of feedback is great. Especially, like I said, I went back and watched a video the other day and realized that when I was inviting everybody, that it was really kind of an annoying tapping sound. So if even that kind of stuff, just say, like that, that really is kind of noisy when you do that, or whatnot. I try to make it as pleasant as possible for you guys, but sometimes I don't always realize what the microphone is picking up. But that's why I do go back every once in a while and watch just watch, I don't usually watch the whole thing, but I usually watch bits and pieces of them to make sure that the recording's okay and the lighting's okay and things of that sort. But feedback on that stuff is great as well. Feedback on anything that you want to learn about, want to learn more about. Even if you have a question about something, there may be a video and I can get you the link to the video to watch. So really, like, I'm open to help however you guys need me to help. I'm always willing to do card pulls for people. The only setback with card pulls is I do have a day job, so if you ask me in the middle of the day to do a card pull for you, it will have to be after I get home and do supper and all that stuff. So it'll probably be, 7, 8 o'clock-ish before I can get to doing a card pull for you. But I would love to stay home and do nothing but this all day, talk to you guys when you guys are actually on here and could actually, have more interaction with each other. But unfortunately, I have not won the lottery and cannot do that right now. So, so I have to go to work. I did have something written down to tell you guys, and I just closed that. So today's the 29th. So there is a new moon tomorrow. So new moons are a good time to set intentions. There will be a new moon ritual with Athena. I'm pretty sure I've shared the event in the group. So you guys can certainly pop on and watch that with her. Again, hers are also all recorded and saved on YouTube. And you can, as well as subscribe to my YouTube, you can subscribe to her YouTube. And it will tell you when she's going live or when she has an event or when she's added a video or anything like that, if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, at this point, I haven't really focused on doing new moon or full moon rituals just because she does and they're free, and hers are a lot more informative than mine are. She has a lot more wisdom and knowledge on this stuff than I do. So I figured there's no reason to try to compete with that. Not even compete with that. It's not really the best word, but there's no sense in me putting that out there when there's somebody that does it for free that can do it much better than I do. She does it much more justice than I would do, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But that is free tomorrow night. For our time, for Eastern time, it's going to be 9 o'clock, which I know some of you, that's kind of late. But for me, 9 o'clock actually works really well because a lot of times my husband is, by 9 o'clock, either asleep on the couch or in bed sleeping. So, again, it's a time where I can kind of have the house a little bit to myself. So that is what is going on for the next new moon is tomorrow, and then I will see you guys back on Tuesday. Gonna talk maybe a little bit about shadow self. We'll see how that goes. What I got for that's what I'd like to talk about, but I gotta see if I can find information that I want to use. Sometimes that's challenging, and so it might not be Tuesday, it might end up being Thursday. We'll go from there. So I will see you guys all on Tuesday morning. I hope everybody has a, what did I do with my pen? I'm telling you, squirrel, like, is so my problem today. It's my problem every day. I hope everybody has a really great weekend. I hope everybody has, enjoys the long weekend, gets some time off. I know there's lots of people that work in jobs that don't necessarily get the day off, but I hope that you get a day somewhere or some time somewhere to have some fun and spend some time with your family, and maybe make some time for yourself to meditate. So again, if anybody's got any questions, needs anything, I am here to help. I don't charge for anything. I don't want anything in return. I had one lady reach out to me the other day and said, I need some help, and you know, I'll do this for you if you help me. And I was like, I don't want you guys to do anything for me. That's not why I'm here. I don't